In Justice League Dark, Zatanna rides her bike through the city as she prepares for a possible deadly encounter with the Enchantress. But she comes across a gruesome scene as she finds part of the city has been consumed by tendrils and magical insects. She instinctively knows it's the work of Enchantress as she hears Enchantress through a car radio threatening to rip her face off. Zatanna tries to use her magic to quell some of the corruption, but as her magic is not working, Enchantress informs her it's because her hexing is stronger. Zatanna is forced to flee as a dark cloud starts consuming all in its path. But she can't outrun the cloud, so she's forced to hold her ground and cast a protective ward. But earlier, as Dawn Granger sits in a bar, she's approached by a young man who happens to be possessed by her boyfriend, Deadman Boston. Now, Deadman and Dawn can't be together, seeing as Deadman is dead, so he tries to convince Dawn to hook up with this guy while he's possessing his body. Now, Dawn is disgusted by the very suggestion, but as Dawn and Deadman are arguing, this dude's wife walks in and slaps the shit out of him for making time with another lady. Dawn apologizes as Deadman leaves with his wife, not wanting to ruin the lives of these two. But elsewhere in America, as John Constantine gets into a bar fight, it takes him 10 minutes to walk back to his motel without blacking out as he's bleeding from a knife wound. But everything John does, he does with a purpose, as his scrying technique and this specific brand of magic is actually amplified by his physical pain. John uses a piece of Zatanna's hair to try to track her location. But back at Dawn Granger's house, Deadman and Dawn argue as she's still disgusted Deadman tried to get her to hook up with another guy. But a strange girl then comes to Dawn's door as she's seeking a Deadman. Now this strange girl is named June Moon, and she explains she used to be part of the Enchantress. She's come seeking help as she wants Deadman to possess her to make sure there's nothing living inside her. Dawn leaves the room telling Deadman to try not to enjoy it too much. But as Deadman proceeds to possess June and look deep inside her, Dawn goes outside to get some fresh air. But as Dawn is on the balcony, June walks outside with Deadman still possessing her body. Deadman apologizes for trying to get her to hook up with a guy while he's possessing his body. But then he tries to get her to hook up with June while he's possessing her body. Now Dawn speeds off, very pissed off about the whole situation, while June Moon apologizes as she thinks it's her fault. But Deadman explains to her that he's definitely the one that fucked up. As Dawn speeds through the city, very pissed off about the whole situation, she starts hearing weird-ass chatter on the radio. She hears the voice of Enchantress coming through the car radio. Next thing you know, she transforms into Dove as she sees a wall of blackness coming towards her. The voice warns Dove that having June Moon near her will bring nothing but doom upon her. But elsewhere, back in the city, as the darkness has passed, civilians gather around Zatanna as she's still in a trance. But as Madame Xanadu watches from a distance, she reaches out to Enchantress to warn her that she's seen the ones that are gathering against her, and she knows they're strong enough to hurt her. Madame Xanadu urges the Enchantress to go on a little more of an offensive and destroy all that come after her. The end. Thank you for watching.